Hello traders, welcome back to this video. It's another day to do our top down analysis, and today I come before you with some few pairs. And before I do the analysis, I have an update for you guys. So I have been doing some deep research on the best pro firms that we have, and I'll be dropping a video about the top 5 pro firms that we have, and then that will answer all those traders that have been texting me, asking me about the best pro firms that we have. So I'll be doing that research, and then I'll make sure I drop a video so that you can choose which pro firm to use. And then I'll also be updating you guys on the other channel. I've decided that I'll be doing some more analysis on more pairs, and that includes also the minor pairs, all those traders that always try to trade, let's say maybe the other pairs, let's say maybe the GBP CHF, USD CHF, all those pairs. I'll be dropping some good analysis on the other channel. So make sure you are there, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss on any update. So on this channel, I'll also be updating you guys on some few pairs, mostly the major pairs on this channel. And as you all know, I love trading XAUUSD, and let's say maybe NAS 100, I'll be dropping those analysis on this channel. So today I have AUD/USD as my first pair, and on AUD/USD we have been looking for some buys. So let us start from the daily time frame, do our top down analysis before we try to make any point of interest as our main point of interest to take a trade from. So let me clear this chart so that we can start all over again together. So if you have not been following my analysis, we had a very good bias on AUD/USD. We can see on the daily time frame that price has been moving up, very bullish to the upside. Price came into this fair value gap here, mitigated this fair value gap, and went up to break a structure. So we have this break of structure to the upside at this point, and then later on we have the price coming back down, having this pullback. We have this pullback into this area. We have this demand level that price came back to mitigate, and right now we have price forming a very bullish movement to the upside. So if we drop down into the 1 hour time frame, or let's say maybe the 4 hour time frame, we can see that price, after price tapped into that demand level, we can see that price formed a very good change of character to the upside. So let me give it some time so that we can have our chart very clean and clear. So price tapped into that area, and then we had a very good change of character. You can see here we had this break here to the downside as our last break of structure. So we have that break, and then we also have another break here to the downside as well. So later on we see that price came to this high and took out that high that formed that break of structure to the downside. After price formed that change of character, price later on came into this order block that we have here. So this is the only order block that had a fair value gap at this point. So price came back into that order block, and then we have been having some very good bullish movements the upside. So if I come back into the 4 hour time frame, so let us try to look for a very good point of interest so that we can have our continuation entry to the upside. So price formed a very good change of character inside our point of interest, and then we have price forming some good breaks of structure to the upside in the 4 hour time frame. So we have this break here to the upside. Is left behind some very good fair value gaps, you can see, and then we had this pullback. This pullback didn't come into these areas to mitigate that point of interest. We have this last order flow. So this order flow was not mitigated, and therefore later on we see price coming into that order flow. We have price moving up, then we have another break to the upside. So we have this break here to the upside as well. Then after that break of structure, we have price leaving behind some fair value gap. So we have this fair value gap here. that price never came back down to mitigate. And also I have been waiting for this point of interest uh, since price moved up. I've been waiting for price to come into this area to try and mitigate this point. I'm considering that price will be taking all these areas here as liquidity. So as for me, I'll be waiting for this extreme point of interest down there for price to come back down. And I'm considering that price will be taking this as liquidity because we still have more fair value gaps down here that are not that have not been mitigated. So that is why I still want to see price coming back down at least into this point of interest, and then we try to look for our buying opportunity from that area, the upside. But as of now, because price is still bullish to the upside, I'll try to look for some entries, let's say maybe from this area. We have this order block, this daily order block here. So if price will be looking to buy from this point to the upside, I need to see a pullback into this area, a change of character from this point of interest, and then we look to take our buys to the upside. So that is if the price won't come into this extreme point of interest that we have down here. So we have that point of interest up there, and therefore if I clear this as well, so that is my first setup, and this is my second setup here. We have this order block, a 1 hour order block that has a 4 hour order block uh, has not been mitigated, and we don't have a very clear break of structure yet to the upside. And therefore, I need to see a break above before I consider taking a buy from this point of interest. But generally, let us wait patiently for the extreme point of interest. But let us watch out on what price will be doing from this point first before we look to wait for price to come back into this extreme point of interest, and then we look to take our buys from that area, the upside. So on AUDSD, we are still bullish. Let us look for opportunities to the upside. Let us look for buying opportunities to the upside. So if you have a different opinion, comment down below the comment section so that we can see what you think about AUDUSD. So we have silver as our next pair today. So on silver, we have been bullish for the past 1 week. For the past 1 week or 2 weeks, we have been bullish on silver. So on silver, if we come back into the daily time frame and we try to clear everything, we can see that price has been bearish to the downside in the daily time frame. Then we have price leaving some important points of interest. Therefore, let me mark out the points of interest that we have. So we had this break here to the downside. Sorry, we had this break here to the downside at this point. And then after that break of structure there, have a very good break of structure. And then price left behind this point of interest above there. So I want us to focus on what is happening here. Don't mind about what is happening on this other side, but let us focus on this structure in the daily time frame. So we have that beautiful break of structure, and then as always, you know that price has to come back into a 50% level, form another break of structure, the downside. That is if the market wants to continue the downside. So price has not yet come into the 50% level, and therefore we still expect some buys into this area, the upside. So therefore we are supposed to be looking for some short-term buys on silver, but inside the lower time frame, the daily time frame, inside the internal structure, we can see that this was forming some beautiful downtrend internal structures. Then we had this as our last break here to the downside. So let me mark it very clearly. So we have that break to the downside, and that means that this high is protected. So price closed above this high. Therefore, we have a very good change of character to the upside. And after this change of character, it means that price is willing to have a pullback into the 50% level before moving to the downside. And therefore, if if we have this as our change of character and we have to look for a buying opportunity, we need to see price coming back into a 50% level before having a buying opportunity the upside. So as of now, I expect price to pull back into a 50% level before we take another buy into this 50% level of this break of structure. So I need to see price pulling back, try to fill into to try and fill these fair value gaps that we have down here. So if I can mark this fair value gap here, we have this fair value gap. We have another fair value gap below it as well. And also we have an order block below it. So we have the aggressive movement from this point down there, and then we have this order block down there. So I need to see price coming back down, try to fill in these fair value gaps, and then we look for more buys to the upside. So my view on silver, we need to look for some short-term sales into this area, and then we look for more buys into these points of interest. Let's say maybe we have this extreme point of interest inside the daily time frame, and also we have this order block, the daily order block that has not been mitigated at that point. So all these the points of interest in the daily time frame are coming inside the 50% level. As you can see clearly, this is the first point of interest inside the 50% level, and then we have this extreme point of interest inside the 50% level. So if I clear that, we need to see price having a pullback into this point. And inside the daily time frame, we have this daily order block where price is currently reacting from. And as for me, I anticipate that price will be reacting from that point, and then we have a pullback into these areas before we look for more buys the upside. So if I drop into the 4-hour time frame, currently we see price is reacting from that point of interest, and we had this as our last break of structure that is happening inside that point of interest. And then we have this low that formed that break of structure being taken out. Therefore, we have a change of character, the downside. And I don't really like this kind of change of character before, because we didn't have some momentum uh, telling us that price is having an aggressive move to the downside. So in that case, because I don't have that aggressive move to the downside, therefore it means price can easily still go to the upside and clear that high. But as of now, because of that change of character, I want to see price dropping down into this extreme point of interest. Then we look for buys the upside. So as of now, I need to see price coming into this last order flow. We have this last selling here before that buying to the upside, and that is where I'll be looking for my buys this coming week on silver, the upside. So let me zoom out a little bit. So that is my best point of interest on silver. I want to see a pullback into these areas, and then we try to look for buys the upside. So if I drop into the 1-hour time frame, we can see that after that change of character, we don't really have a very good point of interest. We don't even have fair value gap. Try and look for a trade at the downside. So that is why I don't have any point of interest to be looking for a trade to the downside, a continuation entry to the downside, because of this change of character. So we don't have any point of interest, guys. So we still have to wait unless price forms as a very good structure to the downside, and then I'll be updating you guys if we can try and look for more sales to the downside. So let us begin on this pair. I think price will be having that pullback into this daily order block down here, and then we try to look for buying opportunities from this point to the upside. And remember, the daily time frame is very, very powerful. So just be updated on that as well. So we also have XAU USD. So on XAUUSD on the daily time frame, guys, as well, we also have almost the same structure as silver, and price has been moving to the downside. Currently, for the past 1 week, we have been having some move to the upside, and therefore as from our last analysis, we expected some selling opportunity from this point, and currently we see that price is trying to react from that area to the downside. And if price won't respect this point of interest, I expect price to be pushing even higher. Let's say maybe into this point of interest up here. And you can see clearly we have the break of structure to the downside. Price is looking to come into the 50% level also on this pair. So price came into this 50% level. You can see on that 50% level, we have a very good order block. And that is why I expect some reaction from there so that we can look for a selling opportunity the downside. So we have price closing above this high, forming an internal change of character because we had this break here as well. And then price called that high, forming that change of character. So also on XAUUSD, I'll be looking forward to see price coming back to this fair value gap to try and mitigate this fair value gap before we look for any buying opportunity to the upside, or if price will be looking to have some massive sales to the downside. I'll also try to update you guys on anything that price will be doing from this area, either to the upside or the downside. So make sure you are here to follow the analysis as well. So in the 4 hour time frame, because we also have that fair value gap, I think price will be having a drop that area. We also have a very good change of character on gold. So let me clear this point of interest. Let me delete that so that we can see what the price is doing at that point of interest. So we have this break here on the 4 hour time frame, a very good break of structure to the upside. And then after that break of structure to the upside, we have the low that formed that break of structure being cleared out. We have that low being cleared out, meaning that price formed a very good change of character to the downside. Though needed to see price having an aggressive move to the downside, but price didn't have that aggressive move. And then we have a very good sweep of liquidity above that high. So this makes it even more powerful that price seems to have a bearish move to the downside. So this coming week, I'm looking for selling opportunities on gold. I'm looking for selling opportunities on gold because we have some bearish signs to the downside. I'm currently waiting for price to take out this high, and then I'll be looking for my selling opportunities to the downside. So I'll be looking for a trade opportunity once price taps into this area here. We have this candle that swept liquidity, and that will be my best point of entry to the downside. So I need to see price coming back into this point here, and then we look for a change of character, then we take our sales to the downside. So once we have that kind of formation being formed from that area, I'll be looking to take my sales from that point, the downside. But we need more clarification from market because I don't really like this kind of selling momentum to the downside. If we have a very clear change of character, I expect price to be having some good fair value gaps to indicate or to communicate to me that price is willing to have the selling momentum to the downside. This will be communicating to me that sellers are present in the market. So currently, right now, that is what I think price will be doing. I need to see price having that change of character from that area, and then we take our selling opportunities up to this fair value gap in the daily time frame. So my first take profit will be below this low here, and then the full take profit will be at this fair value gap. So that is what I think on gold, guys. Same as silver. And then we try to look for, let's say, maybe a buy from this point because of the daily change of character. Have this daily change of character. And if price wants to come back into a 50% level of that change of character, we need to wait for price to come up to that fair value gap, and then we look for that buying opportunity, the upside. So that is my view on XAUUSD, guys. I also have US30. I also have US30 as my next pair. So on US30, we are clearly bullish to the upside, and we need to be looking for some buying opportunities to the upside. Though price left behind some good fair value gaps. So we had this break here, the last break of structure to the upside. And after that break of structure, we always expect price to come back to a 50% level before we look for more buys the upside. As for now, I need to see price coming back into this area before I look for more buys to the upside, and therefore, in the meantime, I'll be looking for some short-term selling opportunities before I look for a buying opportunity to the upside. So what I can see in the daily time frame, we have this last order flow, we have this demand level that the price has not been mitigated, and then we also have this fair value gap in the daily time frame, which can also become our point of interest, and therefore I need to see price coming back into those areas before we look for more buys the upside. So this is my best point of interest, the best point of interest that I have on US30, and right now I'm looking for sales this area, and then after price comes into this area, we try to look for buying opportunities from this point to the upside. And then we also have price leaving behind a very good gap. We had price opening with a gap there. We also have this demand level, which is around that daily fair value gap that we have the demand level here, and also we have this fair value gap above. So I expect this to be dropping down up to these areas. Then we look for buying opportunity the upside. So let me mark that fair value gap. That fair value gap will be my target on US30. So this coming week, let us look for a selling opportunity into this area, and then we look for buys the upside. So if I drop down into the 4 hour time, into the 1 hour time frame, we have price coming back up to mitigate this fair value gap. So price mitigated that fair value gap, and then we have a break to the downside at this point. We have this break of structure to the downside. After that break of structure, we had this pullback. Price came once again to the downside. This high didn't sweep any liquidity on this other side. Therefore, price came down, took out this low, form a break of structure to the downside, and then price later came back into this high, took out this high's liquidity as a sweep of liquidity, and then we have price going down, break new to form a new break of structure to the downside. So we have a very beautiful downtrend structure, and later on price came to this area. We had a very good point of interest above there. We had this order block. Price came into that area, mitigate that order block. Then we had a very good change of character to the downside here. I took my trade from this fair value gap. After price formed this change of character inside the lower time frame, we had that break of structure. Then we had another break to the downside here, which formed a very good change of character to the downside. After that change of character, I marked this fair value gap, and I'm targeting this external liquidity. So I'm expecting price to push down. I'm expecting price to push lower into this fair value gap, and then we try to look for buys the upside. So currently right now on US30, guys, let us look for some selling opportunities into these fair value gaps before we look for any buys the upside. And if price will be coming down, I'll be looking to take my buys from this point of interest that we have there, that demand level, then we target the external liquidity. So that is what I expect on US 30, guys. Let us wait for price to come back down and try to fill in these fair value gaps before we look for more buys to the upside. So if you have a different opinion, don't forget to comment down below comment section. So I also have NAS 100 as my next pair. So if I clear everything on this pair, we have price having a very massive downtrend. Then price tapped into this demand level, a very good demand level with a fair value gap, with a very good fair value gap. Then once price tapped into this area, we have this fair value gap above it. So you can see that fair value gap. So price came into this area, tapped into this demand level. Then since that reaction from that area, we have been having some more buys the upside. So last week we had price coming back into this fair value gap, and then we've been having more buys to the upside, and I expect price to be moving even higher. I expect price to be taking out this highs liquidity. We have that highs liquidity above there. So I expect price to be taking both these highs, and therefore if I drop into the 4-hour time frame, we have that massive buying. You can't even compare on how the price has been moving down with how the price has been moving the upside. So at this moment, I expect more buys on NAS 100. And if I can see here clearly, we had this support and resistance level that price broke above. So price has broken above this support and resistance level. You can see how many times price respected this level. And therefore, I need to see a price moving even higher to the upside. We have a very good pattern being formed here. I think it is a triangle pattern. I don't know, but I think we have that pattern being formed there. And it is a continuation pattern that is going to be buying to the upside. So I need to see price coming back into this demand level. So we had that break to the upside on that support and resistance level. And then I have this area here as my demand level. Before that aggressive buying to the upside, I want to look for that selling before that aggressive buying the upside. So here you can see clearly that price had this buy, and then we have this last selling before that massive buying to the upside. So this last selling before that buy is my demand level. I want to see price dropping back into this area. Then we try to look for a buying opportunity from that area to the upside. So on NAS 100, that will be my best point of interest. I want to see price coming back into that area, and then we look to take our buys to the upside. So currently right now, I think price is having that pullback, and then we'll try as much as possible to target that external liquidity. So on NAS 100, let us look for some buys to the upside. Let us look for buys to the upside from this area up to that external liquidity. So that is my view on NAS 100, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. So I think that is it for this video. Those are my pairs for this analysis today. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss on any analysis that we do on this channel. Also remember, on the other channel, I'll be dropping some few pairs for you guys, some analysis for you guys on that channel as well. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment down below the comment section, and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss on any analysis on this channel.